Recently, our client John met his banker to discuss plans for a clean energy building. What he found was a shared passion for building something more. Momentum for change. First Horizon Bank. Let's find a way. Go to firsthorizon.com/John.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
That hooker, I don't know, man. It's just me and my kids. Oh shit, it starts recording automatically too. I love it. Oh, what's going on, man? You got a volume on you? It's home study day, so yeah, you're a little low.
All right, what about now?
Oh god, now I can hear you.
A little
That
bit
sucks.
Oh, I know. Just turn it back down.
Oh, that's
What the
perfect.
hell's going on?
That's perfect right there. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
there.
really good. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you doing this? Are they homeschooled like all the time?
No, it's a mosaic program is what they call it, but it's 3 days at.
So it's like
school.
3 days in, 2 days out,
Yep,
kind of thing.
Tuesdays, Thursdays, they're home study, and it basically most of it's on a computer. So
What now? Hold on, Chris. Hold on. What's up? No, thanks.
elotes.
Like the guy sees that I'm doing something and he wants to start a conversation.
What microphone are you using right now?
My actual mic that plugs into my computer.
Your black one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Shoot me a picture of that when you have oh no, wait, I have one actually through our text messages.
You know what I've learned? If you are willing to do a little digging, you could go on wish.com. I mean, listen, the odds of you getting something really cheap and shitty from China is high. But if you're willing to kind of dig through, I mean, for like $40 or less, you could actually get a pretty good mic with like a lot of accessories.
And if you buy direct, it's no big deal because the FCC is not going to screw you, but they can't send those over here in bulk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you bought like 150 of them, they would kind of be wondering what's going on. But honestly, in my opinion, a great business idea, because you could buy the package for maybe 40, and you could sell it off as a start your own podcast setup for like 79 or 100 or
89, 99,
hey, everything
95.
you need is in this box. Yeah.
And I have that actually written down. It's called a pod case.
Yeah. It's just once I want an infomercial to be like the product's $29.95, $29.99 kind of thing. It's like for only 2,999 monthly installments of 1 penny, you can have this for yourself. Like,
why do they have a southern accent? I'm curious where they're
because
from.
Here's the thing: they're always. Have you noticed they're always either British or they have a southern accent.
No.
I think it's because they think we trust the British people more. So when they talk, every infomercial is a British person.
Okay, that makes sense then.
But the Southern thing, I think it's because we all think Southern people are stupid, so you think you're getting over on this guy on a deal. Like, that son of a bitch doesn't even know what he's selling at that price.
Is this what they call...
Stupid idiot, I'm going to buy 5.
Is this what they call marketing and advertising?
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've taken classes in it, and I still don't know how to do it for myself. But, there you go. Hey, so we've basically started for the past few minutes, and I'd like to say that this is We Should Be Better at This, also known as the podcast where Eric and Chris have turned our telephone conversations into a podcast.
Well, we got to monetize something because we're not working through the podcast.
But anyways, I can be found at Sinatra's Rat Pack on Twitter.
What'd you think of my song, man?
Look me up there. The new the Jurassic Park theme song, which we've talked about before, as and it's in the pantheon of all-time great theme songs, and it's appropriate, of course, because we are talking. There's the new Jurassic World movie trailer. In fact, why don't you go ahead and play the Jurassic World 3 trailer?
Our world is changing. The mass extinction we feared has already begun, are the cause.
Oh my God. How many times do you have to see the evidence? We're causing our own extinction. Too many red lines have been crossed.
I love giving you work to do. So it's called Jurassic World 3 Extinction. The trailer is very limited because they haven't finished filming everything. It doesn't come out till 2021. It's a teaser trailer, but you can't really even tell much of what the plot's going to be. But the name of it is called Extinction. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think the plot and the setting will be?
I hope this turns into the Planet of the Apes, but dinosaurs. I hope all the humans turn into slaves or killed off. We are like dead and we are the extinct animals and the dinosaurs take over. But then they get smart. And then they turn into that Thursday night show. Or no, TGIF. Remember the TGIF show? The dinosaurs they were on? Yeah, it turns into that eventually.
Not the mama.
Yeah, not the mama. That's the one.
Not the mama. 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 Not the mama.
Yeah, see, so if that
Remember
happens...
when that was a thing? Remember when that was like a catchphrase and everyone was doing the not the mama? It reminds me of when everyone did Austin Powers for a while. Yeah. Everyone did the not the mama for a while.
Yes, in alongside not the mama was Did I do that?
Did I do that?
Oh, yes, you got to love that TGIF Friday night lineup. Okay, so you want it to be a very Planet of the Apes style, which makes for a good movie. And let's face it, we know that Andy Serkis will be doing all of the dinosaurs. So
Yes.
that makes sure that he gets work. I like that as an overall concept.
What do you think?
I kind of want it to be a long period of time has passed is what I want. I don't want this to be, they go back to try and revisit the island 3 years later, or that they I want it to be, this is like 150 years later. We are now like in the year 2150, and no one has been back to visit this island and this area for so long because people were scared away by it. But technology has advanced or whatever, and now they're saying, let's come back in there, let's take it over. But now you've had all these years for these species to crossbreed, and so you have all these new dinosaurs. So you have like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with like a Stegosaurus tail, and the pterodactyl that also like is as big as a brontosaurus. I don't know. I'm making shit up at this point, but I think that would be the one that would interest me.
Yeah, the one thing I agree, actually, that would be really, really good. The one thing that I do like about this, they're bringing back all the original Jurassic Park cast, like Laura Dern and Sam Neill, right?
Which is what I've heard. I don't know much more than that. They've talked about that as what's likely happening. But
if that's the case, I'm curious to see how that timeline's going to cross over, because they even have Jeff Goldblum on here with Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. So I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see how they do that crossover to make it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it far in the future?
They have to go back and get like the original. They have to go back and get the original people. Like, hey, you guys were there when this first started. What did you notice? It's like a way of bringing back in the old characters or something.
Yeah, but it's right at that edge. But it is in the future. But let's say Sam Neill and Laura Dern are a little bit older. Even Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt can be a little bit older. Just have them like a little bit older, maybe on in years. Where they found a place to hide from the dinosaurs, and Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are trying to find a way to fix this extinction or reverse the apocalypse.
All of that, yeah. Honestly, all of that sounds good. This is supposed to be the last one, and again, it's an interesting question because, well, I know they always say that, but I read an article where it says they need 1.5 billion, which is a lot, but not out of the question, but it's a lot. If they get 1.5 billion or more, these Jurassic World movies will outgross the new Star Wars movies in that same period of time.
Wow. Okay. Well,
so they're saying that like there is a chance that the Jurassic Park actually overtakes Star Wars. What do we call these? Not the prequels, but the later sequels of Star Wars, the Jurassic World movies would have taken that over.
See, now, is that really something that they're going to make, like, oh, yeah, if we do that, then we're going to beat them, but we're not making any more? Like, no more movies after we make 1.5 billion. No more movies.
Let's see. This movie cost us $200 million to make, plus another $200 million in budgets and marketing and all that. So it's a $400 million investment, and we're gonna make $1.6 billion. All the rest of that's profit. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that's too much to walk away from.
Yeah, no, I was actually trying to do all the calculations on my phone, but my screen's not big enough because there's not enough rooms for all the zeros.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Even
no.
if you turn it to landscape mode, you can.
Now they put it's all E. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm in on all these movies. I've tried to read the books, but I don't read well. But I am in on all the Jurassic Park movies. I'll watch them no matter what. They'll get my money. I just hope it's entertaining enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, I don't know if I told you this or not. Did you? I told some of you. I was talking about it on Twitter a little bit, but my wife is on a jury.
Okay.
And she actually got assigned to a murder trial because apparently this is where you drop in murder was the case that they gave me. Murder was the case that they gave me. But what's funny is we have this argument, and it's funny. My wife and I really don't argue about many things. We've been married for 19 years, and we never argue. But one thing that we argue about is every single year this woman gets called for jury duty. I've never been called. Never. Every single year she gets called. And I tell her every single year, throw it in the trash. Just throw it in the trash. There's no way they can prove that you got it. And they're not going to chase you down, every single person who didn't turn it in. From what I've learned, they send out like 10,000 of those notices, and they know that only 5,000 will respond, and then that's the pool that they choose from.
Yeah.
So they know that they have a certain percentage that aren't going to return it. Yes, technically are you breaking the law, but you say, listen, I live in a house full of people. Sometimes that stuff looks like junk mail. I didn't get it, but hey, send me another one and I'll be sure to respond, whatever. But she responded like an honest person, which was her first mistake. And then she finally gets put on a trial, and it's a murder trial.
There's a couple things I'm curious about, and I'm not going to tangent too far, but I can hear your voice, so I know it's not your murder trial, and she's actually on trial.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know that's going to happen one day. But beside all that, I've never been actually asked to stay on a jury so much, and that's probably because I make it so people don't want to talk to me, and they're like, "Oh God, he's kind of a jerk. I don't want him on this jury or whatever." When I was young, I would just go and like plaid their pants and like white contacts, and I would just sit there with a wife beater on and be like, "Do I have to go?" And they would just be like, "Oh, you're excused. Go, please get out of here." But I've never been on a trial like that. I've only ever known one person on a murder trial, so that's crazy. But she gets called every year. Well, I know why you don't get called because you're a thief, but
it's weird. But they don't know I'm a thief because I'm Teflon Don and I never get caught. But it's just weird. I never get called. And if I did, I would immediately throw it away. But she gets called every year, and every year she responds. And sometimes this is her first time actually making it on a case, but she always has to go in there and sit in the room and do all that kind of stuff. But literally every year.
Okay, I got a question for you. Do you vote every year?
Yes.
Is your name on a ballot before you go and vote, or do you write it in?
I've been voting by mail for over 20 years.
Oh, so then they've probably been losing your mail too.
Yeah, I guess so. My vote probably hasn't counted. It's probably what it is. Not that I vote Republican, but I've definitely never voted for a Democrat. So I'm sure in this state, anything that doesn't get registered as a vote for Democrat, they accidentally lose it in the mail.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't know.
But anyway, so I wanted to ask you. So if I've never been called. She gets called every year. You say you've never served. Do you want to serve?
I would now at this point, since I'm worthless and unemployed and crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah, all of those things are true statements.
Yeah.
But you get paid like $1.50 a day or something stupid, like a pack of Thin Mints or something, right?
As long as they got Wi-Fi and I got AirPods, there's podcasts to be listened to.
Good point. How would you get out of the jury duty? Let's say you got called, and the challenge was, how do you get out of it using you can't sit there and like whip out your penis and masturbate. That's an easy one.
Ooh, ouch.
But like, what would you do to get off of a jury, of being assigned to a jury, but within reason? It can't be anything crazy.
Pun intended, I hope.
Yeah.
A couple times I've said that, like when my son was younger, was a baby, I was staying at home with him while my wife was working. So that was one, not excuse, but I was like, hey, my son was just born. And they're like, well, childcare is not an excuse, but I'll let you go this one time. And I'm like, okay. That was one way I got out of it. And the other one was self-employed work sometimes, depending on the business. But it was a business where if I wasn't working, the business wasn't moving forward. So the guy made me stay for a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, he did dismiss me. So those two worked for me, besides looking like an idiot when I was younger, to get out of jury duty. But, I mean, I wouldn't go crazier than that probably.
Yeah, I've always thought, since I never get called, I always thought mine would be to almost go the complete opposite. I would make it look like I wanted to be on the jury so bad that they would think that there's something wrong with me. So you sit there and they're asking you, Mr. Lucky, why do you think you would be a good juror? Oh, I'd be a fantastic juror because I can just look at someone and tell if they're guilty.
Or you're like, oh my God, Michael Crichton is my favorite author. Oh wait, no, that was Jurassic Park.
Pretty much all I do is listen to true crime podcasts, so I can pretty much nail down if this person's guilty or not, like instantly. Just something where I want, or I'll just get all like super happy and pumped and like I want to be on this jury. I can't. Yeah, oh yeah, put me on. You know?
Or what if you're sitting there and you're like, no, Anad Saeed, he's innocent. You guys are idiots. The system sucks. I don't think they'll let you stay.
Yeah, that's true. They did ask. If your ask Monique if your family member, do you have your family member ever been either indicted for murder or has been murdered? And she said no. And then she got home and I said, hey, remember when you told me when you were like a really little girl that your grandfather, your paternal grandfather was murdered?
Whoa.
She goes, yeah. I said, you could have brought that one up. She goes, I forgot. Well, you literally had an out.
Yeah, she
not
has
only did
an out.
you not even she turned in the paperwork, which I told her not to, and then they literally asked her a question about murder in the family, and she's like, no, I don't think so.
Well, I guess it didn't affect her much, but man, that's all Grandpa had to give her. That's all he had left to give her.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. But yeah, what about Evelyn? Has Evelyn ever served?
She's been all the way to the point where they're about to finalize the jury, and they're like, hey, if you have any problems, let me know, and if you need a sidebar, come over here and talk. She's always been a little bit like, hey, I want to talk to you a little bit. I work in entertainment. I'm on the morning show out here. People know who I am. They know my face. They know my voice. I don't want any type of retaliation. And then, so she got out of one that way.
Yeah.
She got out of one that way. The other way.
That would be the one that scares me. I mean, it sounds like she at least has that kind of like a little bit of a built-in excuse. But when you're on a trial and you listen, if it's like, oh, I'm on this trial, this guy forged some checks and we're just going to decide if he's guilty. I don't think you have to really worry about retaliation or retribution. But man, you get assigned on a murder case and it's like, hey, there might be some people who are pretty angry at the jury. Like, I kind of don't like that as maybe they should have it to where the jury is behind like a certain one-way mirror or something like that. So where they can't be seen.
That'll probably be happening soon, or they'll be in a room where there's cameras all in the courtroom, and they sit in a room full of like screens.
Yeah, something like that, because that way they could also feel protected.
For
but
sure.
Yeah, so this is actually a gang attempted murder case, and so it's for a gang.
Oh, fun.
And basically, Monique's being the good juror, like not telling me anything about it, but she did say, she goes, so they gave us a map of where this gang patrols and all the maps of where like all the gangs are in the Los Angeles area. She goes, basically, I started making a map in my head of all the places we will no longer be driving through. I'm like, oh, okay, good to know. She goes, we are never getting anywhere near the 110 freeway between the 105 and the like 101. She had like the specific, very specific, like, we will not go in this area under any circumstances.
That's hilarious. No, Evelyn was on a murder trial, or it was a murder trial, and it got all the way down to it, and then they finally revealed who it was about, and it was about this guy on trial for starting a fire, and firefighters were killed. But we had come really close to the firefighters' families because we were doing fundraising with them, and we still are very close. So when she found that out, they made her say it out loud. Like, they didn't even pull her aside. They're like, what's the problem? Well, I don't think I should be on this jury. And they're like, why? And she goes, well, I like to talk to you on stage. No, you say it out loud. And the defendant was in there. So she's like, I know the person's family members of the person that passed. So she got off out of it that way. But she went through a grueling process, and then she had to go up in front of everybody, including the defendant. So it kind of sucked.
Yeah, and you're still kind of missing out on work. I think, listen, if you want people to serve on a jury, because, Monique's even saying that even though she hates this whole process and it's annoying and it's frustrating, she said it's pretty rewarding because you learn a lot and that you feel like you're a part of a process and all that kind of stuff. I said, yeah, everyone should do it. It is your civic duty, but do they have to make it so unbearable? That's the thing for me. I mean, she's had so many days where it's like show up, sit there, okay, go home, come back, go home again, come back even later. Oh, we've never mind. Nothing's going to happen today. Go home. It's like all this stuff. And it's like I think maybe if they made it a better experience, people would be a little bit more willing to serve.
I agree. And I think that there's a very easy way to set that up and establish it in every police courthouse department everywhere. Everything that they confiscate that is marijuana or video games or stolen TVs or anything like that, they just have this big room with like video games for the jurors to play with, and then like a setup over here where they have a hookah station,
like a lounge.
Yeah, so if they had like their own
VIP
green
room, like a green room lounge kind of a thing,
I would be more willing to sit in there and have like a fish taco and watch something on my laptop in between things than just to be stuck in a room with a chair and my phone.
Yeah. You know what? That's actually probably a pretty good point. Make it like a college dorm room or a green room outside of a TV show, and I think people would at least be like, it sucks that I'm on jury duty, but hey, man, there's some food, got some Cheez-Its, got a soda over here out of the ice cold soda bin. There's sports on TV, and I got free Wi-Fi, and there's a bag of Skittles being passed. I mean, like, I don't know. That would be kind of like, hey, cool.
It'll be like a Golden Corral plus. It'll be like Courthouse Corral.
Courthouse Corral. I think I smell a comedy series.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Coming soon to the Pop Network. Hey, so I was gonna ask you too another question, just a quick one. Do you help your kids with their school projects, or do you kind of let them do it on their own?
Well, like we talked about at the beginning of this, well, I don't know if it was the beginning of the show, but before we decided that we started the show, we were talking about how my kids are home 2 days a week. So
yeah.
I'm stuck knee deep most of the time with their projects.
But you don't let them kind of sink or swim on it, or how much do you do?
I won't push them, but I'll make sure they stay on some sort of schedule, especially the littler ones. My oldest one's 16. I haven't helped her with the project in a while. But when she was younger, it was just like, all right, well, this weekend it's due in like a week and a half. Let's plan it out, and then next weekend we can build it, and then I'll make them do all the work.
Yeah, it's always tough because there's part of me that sees these school projects and realizes how stupid they are, how they serve no purpose.
Yeah. But
I want my kid to do it. I don't even care if they do it well. It's just do it. The act of completing it is more important to me than, and I have my youngest gets all frustrated. The frog model I had to make doesn't look good and I hate it. It's like, I don't care. Just finish it and turn it in because, let's move on.
Well, that's because there's no more home ec. There's no more shop. There's none of that stuff because people stab each other and stuff, so they can't give them anything sharp. So none of that hands-on stuff is done in school anymore. So the only chance they get to do it is at home. So I agree with you, but some of it is bullshit. It's all, a lot of it's bogus.
Yeah, but that takes a lot of effort on your part to kind of stay engaged and all that. Because I'll be honest with you, I get bored. Those projects are boring.
I know. You didn't even complete them when you were supposed to do them for you.
No, that's exactly what I told my oldest Audrey. I said, she asked for help on them. I said, first of all, I already did a bunch of these, and I hated them when I did it, and I hate them now. And I said, now it's your turn to hate them.
You should have said,
on your own.
You should have said, Audrey, what kind of car do I drive? Do you see a Porsche? Do you see a Mercedes? I didn't complete those in high school.
Audrey, we are getting our Wi-Fi from across the street for free. Honey, things aren't going well.
Audrey, we're renting a house from the old lady in the small house in the back. Don't talk to her.
It still is funny. Anyway,
yeah, there you go.
Hey, I wouldn't mind doing a little sports. There's some sports stuff to talk about.
Do you even know what sports are?
I love sports. Spelled SPROTYS. No, that's wrong.
No, there's a silent X.
There's a silent X. Yes, everything's the X. I want to talk. So the MLB commissioner, we all know about the Astros kind of cheating scandal.
Kind of.
In my opinion, yeah, kind of. The response to it by the baseball commissioner, Rob Manfred, has been weak at best. And it was just came out recently where he called the trophy, first of all, the championship trophy, he called it a hunk of metal when referring to, well, it's just a hunk of metal, so who cares, that kind of thing, which that's really bad when that's your sports trophy.
Yeah.
And then he's been warning other teams about repercussions if they bean and start hitting the Astros players. And everyone's been finding it odd that this guy is looking to punish the people who are going to bean the cheaters more than he punished the cheaters.
Yeah, that definitely, but that seems to be going around. It's like the president does too, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's a sport where for 125 years, the baseball game policed itself, right? Like, you hit a home run and you celebrated it a little too much. Next time you came up, you're gonna wear one in a wallet, you know, right in your butt. The guy was gonna drill you, and they've always kind of policed itself. And now you're basically saying not only can it not police itself, you're protecting the people who you gave immunity to and let them off the hook. But even more so, this affects the game. So let's say you're a pitcher. If you're the Astros hitter, you can crowd the plate now because you know that this pitcher is going to be scared to pitch inside because if he dares hit you and then you get in trouble. So it's almost like he gave the Astros another advantage because they're all now going to crowd the plate and say, yeah, you can't pitch inside now because if you hit me, you're going to get suspended or the umpire's going to throw you out of the game or what have you.
I say they still pitch him inside. I don't care either way. I mean, baseball has been a sport about stealing forever. Like baseball, the big part of baseball is stealing. And even in high school, I stole signs, not to this elaborate set, but if I was at second base and I saw the catcher throw out a number one, I'm going to assume that's a fastball. I'm going to put one arm down, and then the hitter's going to see that and hopefully know it's a fastball, and then hit a home run in so I can jog. But if they don't, it's no big deal. But that's been part of the game forever. So I understand that this is elaborate and costs a lot of money and careers and stuff. So it's a little bit different. For the most part, yes, punish them, but just move forward. Keep going forward. Stop worrying about stuff. I hate people.
What would you say would have been the appropriate punishment that you would have levied if you were the commissioner of baseball in this scandal?
I think whoever was in charge of it player-wise should be banned, like Pete Rose. And
sure.
and then a couple of the uppers in the Astros organization that knew about it, and then a giant fine for the Astros of like $10 million.
I think I agree with the same thing. I would have taken away more of their draft picks because here's what's frustrating for me. The Astros are still going to be an incredibly good team this year and are one of the favorites to make it to the World Series. I almost think you can't have that. You can't have a team cheat its way to the top, give them a really light punishment, and then the next year they win the championship because it's like, well, during this time that we were cheating, we built up a pretty stacked team. So I think you could some people are arguing you could have made them ineligible for postseason play. Or you could say that all they're eligible for is to win the wild card. They cannot win their division or something like that. I would have probably done something creative like you could still make the playoffs as a wild card if you win enough games, but you cannot win your division.
I agree. That's actually not a bad idea. I think that's happened in a lot of college cases where they can play as a team in a sport, but they can't qualify for tournaments or bowl games or something like that. I think that would have been a good idea. Definitely a
because then that's going to say don't do that. That's going to pass along that don't do this anymore for Major League Baseball. Now, here's a follow-up question to that. The Angels, my favorite team, plays. They're the first team to play the Astros. They're the opening game of the season. And so the first batter walks up. Do you think that batter should just be drilled? Like the first batter of the season, just drill him right in the back, kind of sending a message? Or do you have a different idea what they should do?
They can't do it as the first one because then it's intentional. And I think
but when everyone knows it's intentional, don't you think that's exactly what sending that message is? Like, hey, we're making this announcement that we're unhappy about this and you're going to feel it and we want you to know that this one's intentional.
Yeah, but I just would hate for them to retaliate against that one pitcher because he wanted to make a point for the whole league. That would suck. That guy gets banned for the year or you know what I mean?
My idea is, because I think you're right, you don't want someone to get banned or in trouble, but I still want to send a message. So here's my idea. First pitch gets ready. The umpire says play ball. The pitcher gets in his windup, and then he stops. He steps off the mound, and everyone, all 9 players on the field, and all the people in the bullpen, and all the people in the dugout, all turn their backs on the field, on the Astros. So imagine all 9 players on the field turning their backs to home plate, and just giving it like a minute of silence kind of thing where they're turning, and then the people in the dugout and everyone, and just imagine this like uniformed, unanimous thing that's happening, and all the Angels turn their backs on the Astros. Imagine how just demoralizing and what a message that would sound. That's literally like the equivalent of your parent saying, I'm disappointed in you. Like that kind of where it's going to go, oh my God, that crushes me. That would be my idea of that way. No one's getting hurt. There's no retaliation. The Astros really can't even get mad. It's literally like, we're just announcing to you that we're disappointed. That would be the lead story on SportsCenter, would be Mike Trout like turning his back on the team. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think that would be okay, and I mean that would definitely prove your point. I think that it's a little too much to ask for everyone, but I do think that that this isn't over. I think that it could lead to a strike with the players if this isn't handled correctly by MLB.
But even the players seem mad at the Astros players. So I'm wondering if this could be that exception where, if the players union tries to defend them, you got the other players going, well, wait a minute, these guys screwed us. So you might have 29 of the 30 team players go, well, wait, F these guys. Like, don't defend them. So I don't know. But you're right. That's that's how I would have done it. But I got something else. I got a new segment. I don't know if we have a bumper for this or if you're just going to have to make one up. But I got one called Weird Nicolas Cage News.
Nick Cage Facts.
Wait. No. It's supposed to be news. It's supposed to be news. News, not facts. News, not facts. Okay. Go again.
Nick Cage News.
No. You forgot weird. Okay. Go again.
Weird Nick Cage News.
Okay. All right. So Nicolas Cage is just a freaking nut bar, and we all know it. So how about this one? The Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Nicolas Cage is in talks to star as Nicolas Cage in the meta drama The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. So basically, he's going to be playing himself in this kind of like meta series that is Nicolas Cage trying to get work and having like an alter ego that's really mad at how many bad movies he's made and how like he's broke, and he's about how he has a bad relationship with his family, about how he's had problems with the IRS, but it's not all fact. It's like fiction blended in, but yet it's based on kind of real stories, and it's a very meta Nicolas Cage thing. But wait, it gets weird. So
well, I was waiting. It's pretty freaking weird already.
Yeah. So wait. Okay. So because I'm reading from the article. The character is desperate. This is the character he's playing that is himself. It says the Nicolas Cage character in this show is desperate to get a role in the new Quentin Tarantino movie, while also dealing with a strained relationship with his teenage daughter. He occasionally talks to an egotistical 1990s version of himself when he was like super popular, who rides him and makes fun of him for making too many crappy movies and for not even being a star anymore. The Cage character is also under a mountain of debt and finds himself forced to make an appearance at the birthday party of a Mexican billionaire who happens to be a fan of the actor's work and secretly hopes to show him a script on which he's been working. He bonds with the man, but then is informed by the CIA that the billionaire is actually a drug cartel kingpin.
Oh my God.
And the CIA is going to ask Nicolas Cage as Nicolas Cage to go undercover as Nicolas Cage against the Mexican drug lord. And that is the premise for the show.
Okay, that sounds like Stranger Things mixed with Narcos, mixed with a little bit of crazy.
Yeah, but I kind of like the idea of Nicolas Cage just being whacked out of his mind playing Nicolas Cage.
I think that him talking to a 90s version of himself is hilarious because all those
would
movies
be hilarious.
All those movies I'm huge fans of, Face Off and Leaving Las Vegas, and I mean all those movies.
Even really old, like Raising Arizona. I mean,
Con Air.
That would be fantastic. Con Air. Imagine the Con Air Nicolas Cage just full of piss and vinegar, like talking so much trash to modern Nicolas Cage about what a loser he is. Would be hilarious on its own.
Yeah, and I just hope the '90s character in this show is like the characters he played in those movies. So it's like the guy from Con Air, where he's got long hair and he's balding, but he's like, in like prison clothes. So and then or what if it's a guy from Leaving Las Vegas and it's his ghost, but he's drinking?
Yes,
that would be so cool.
And I will tell you this right now. Not only am I on board, and I will watch this show better be rated R. If this show is on like TBS, I'm going to be pissed off. This show needs to be on HBO or Showtime or something where they can go dark and where they can go demented. But if this is like a CBS show, I'm going to be pissed off.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They have to go hard with this one. It'll probably, honestly, end up on a platform like Netflix or Hulu, so they won't have any restrictions.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, one last segment for us. I got a really funny SMRT.
I am too smart. I am too smart. SMRT. I mean SMART.
Okay, Chris, SMRT are smart people doing dumb things. I wanted to bring you one because I think we should try and keep track of this now and have a competition.
Okay.
This is my submission for under the category elderly fight, for the combined ages of the two participants being the oldest. So I'm now challenging you, sometime before the end of the year, you got to try and find a combined age of two combatants higher than this one.
Okay.
So, police in Roseville, a bingo brawl breaks out at a nursing home.
Oh, God.
A game of bingo at a nursing home turned ugly when two elderly women got into a physical altercation over a seat, authorities said. Police responded to the altercation at the long-term care facility right on the New York border. Tempers flared when the two women, aged 79 and 86, wanted to sit in the same seat at bingo, and neither would stand down. Other residents soon got involved, turning the situation into what they're calling a bingo brawl. So we have a combined age of 79 plus 86. So what is that? 79 plus 86. That's 165. So we have a combined age score of 165. That's going to be tough for you to beat. But I like the headline, elderly brawl over a bingo seat.
Now, is that Florida? Oh, no,
it's
that's
actually
Canada.
Canada, our nice neighbors to the north.
Yeah, nice neighbors. They're just old, grumpy people playing bingo, apparently. 165. Woo, that's going to be tough.
That's some heated bingo action. I mean, do you think it was like, B73, you bitch, you called that one before? Like, how aggressive are these bingo games?
It was over a chair. It wasn't even over the numbers, they said, right?
Yeah, they said so when I actually was looking more into the story, they said that the one lady thought that was her lucky chair and she liked sitting there, and the other person said there's no assigned seats, this is where I'm sitting, and she said but that's my lucky chair, and then the two started fighting.
See, and I was just going to make that as a joke.
Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren, and it was them fighting over a chair, this would be an awesome action flick. Instead, I picture these two grannies and walkers like trying to reach to slap the other one and then just falling down.
Oh, I'm picturing two grannies with those dabbers that they use for bingoing, trying to stab each other in the eyeball with them, and they're like fighting each other, and they got one arm holding the other arm's back, and their arm's getting held back by the other person's arm, and then one of them knees the other one in their lower boob or something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
It'll be fun.
All right. Well, that's all I had.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go play bingo soon.
I agree. I think it's the more violent sport since the way they're regulating football. I think that's what we need to do. We just switch to a fantasy bingo league.
That'd be fun. I get Helga on round one. You can have.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Mildred has been hiding that injury for years.
I got Florence.
Oh my god! Oh, Florence is a ringer. She's really only 65. She doesn't even belong in that facility.
She doesn't, but she's in it, so I get her.
What about the tiny Jewish woman, the Russian Jewish woman, Baba Nuk? She studied in the old country's ways, and so her version of bingo is a little different. She's kind of an outsider, but I don't know. I might take her in a later round.
Yeah, I might pick her in round 3 or 4, but not in the early ones.
You know what they say? Never draft a blue hair in the early rounds. I mean, everyone knows that. You're taking a huge risk. So
yeah, I guess I'm not everyone. I just didn't know that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All right,
everybody. Well, please go to the This Is Funner website and check out all the This Is Funner stuff.
And keep an eye out for Eric's new podcast called Listen to This.
That sounds good. That was your that was a very good radio voice.
Thank you so much. Coming out soon. It's where he plays music for you and talks about a theme throughout the music. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say, but it'll be posted on thisisfunner.com very soon.
All right. Sounds good, everybody. And in the meantime, everyone, go hug someone that you love today. Pass along the love.
But if you're in
it's a stressful world.
But if you're in her special chair, her lucky chair, watch out.
I want you to throw blows. I want you to throw down. Ooh, what do you think were the granny insults that were thrown around? Like, you smell like prune juice or something? Or like, what do you think is like granny smack talk when it comes down to that fight?
Like, I can smell your Sensodyne, bitch.
And then I want everyone else to go, ooh, them's fighting words.
Oh, shut up. You got Bengay everywhere. Ooh. All right, we got to go.
All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later.
Catch you later.
All right.
This is
funner. Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.